Trish.
Hi,
Hello.
beauty.
Hi, honey. How have you been?
I've been great. How are you?
I'm
You're home.
good. I am. I'm home for a minute. Yep.
I am too for a hot second. When we have our at home backgrounds, y'all, Karen and I get really excited because we're not in a weird hotel room slash Airbnb slash what feels like a bunker.
Yeah, in a car on a phone. Yeah.
That's right. So we're home, and this week we're tackling a topic that's near and dear to us for what we know so far, which is air travel and traveling, because we get a lot of questions, both of us do, because we're always clearly on the road, about how we can stand it and what do we do. And I thought, well, I love it. I do love it. Yes, it gets tiring sometimes, but I think it's a really cool part of our job. So I thought it'd be really fun for Kay and I to tell you what we know so far about traveling and
Well,
give you some tips.
yeah, got a few tips. And just to comment on that, I always say, though, I do the shows for free. You pay me to travel.
Boom. That is y'all, I that is the absolute truest statement. What we do for sure. I will 110% travel all over this country. That's what you pay me for. When I get on stage, when a camera rolls, that's free.
That's free.
You pay for the rest of the shenanigans.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite airline? Do you have a chosen carrier? Do you fly with whoever is least expensive? Like how I book my own travel because I have a favorite airline. So how about
Yes,
you?
I book my own travel too. And I do have a favorite airline, and that is Delta.
They're not sponsored, but Delta, if you'd love to sponsor us, I am a diamond flyer, and I'd love to be 360 if you're listening. Okay.
I'm a platinum, but I occasionally I do have to take another airlines that just might not work with schedule or doesn't have as many options going into a certain place. But 90% of the time is Delta.
Me too. Now, may I ask why you've chosen Delta?
Well, I do real well with the. That's a good question. I've just always liked Delta better. I can't
Yes.
even put my finger on it, to be honest with you. But it just, and I always have a Sky Miles card. It's always American Express Sky Miles, and it just works for me. And plus, their hub is in Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm in Chattanooga, so it's so convenient. And American, I don't mean to be ugly to American at any.
Well,
I still fly them occasionally, but I hate Charlotte Airport.
whew, isn't that
Hate
rough?
it.
You can put as many rocking chairs as you want in there, Charlotte. It still ain't homey. I don't care for that airport either, girl. Sorry,
There's
Charlotte. We're coming at you hot, but it's just, yeah, it's rough. Charlotte Airport's rough.
it is it is,
And that's the
and
hub for
plus
American Airlines. For those of you that aren't, travel as much as Karen and I, the hub for American is Charlotte, North
Charlotte, and they
Carolina.
also have a hub in Dallas. But I'm always connecting Charlotte and most of the time if I fly American, and you can land at 12 o'clock and not get a gate till 12:20. I mean, it would make you insane. You'll
That's
sit on
so
the
true.
tarmac, and you're like, are we driving to the location in a plane? What are we doing?
That is so true. I forgot about how bad that is at Charlotte. Newark is like that too. Newark, New Jersey. You'll land and they'll be like, "We're just gonna keep you out here on the runway for about an hour and 15 minutes." You're like, "Wait, what? Well, I have a connection." They're like,
I have
"Yeah,
a
you've missed
connection.
that." Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, we need to rebook you.
we need to rebook you. Yeah, I can't do it for that reason. I'm a Delta girl too. Mine started because when my parents got divorced, I was 4, my brother was 2. My dad lived in Atlanta, and my mom lived in Louisville, Kentucky. And most people, some that had divorced parents at that time, would meet in like a McDonald's parking lot, and exchange kids on the weekend. I didn't. Mine was in an airport, and I flew by myself. Think about this. Oh, the 80s. I flew with my little brother. I am 4 and he is 2. And Judy just slung us on a plane. Unaccompanied minors, here you go. And we flew to Atlanta. Now, everybody, that's an extremely short flight. Anybody that travels, Louisville, Kentucky to Atlanta, Georgia is extremely short. But still, that's 2 little toddlers free for themselves. And the flight attendants were always good to us and never made us feel like we weren't, awesome. And so that's what started my love for Delta Airlines, because it was always Delta. And
Yeah,
I have just gotten my million miler with Delta, everybody. That's
that
how
is
much a girl
awesome.
flies. And I have flown for over 30 years with Delta Airlines. It's actually been longer than that, but my parents did not get me a Sky Miles card, or I'd have like the very first one that was, started at the year dot because I've been with them forever. But I love Delta. I think their customer service is wonderful, and they just fly a lot of
I
the
know,
places that we fly.
right? And I love the Sky Club.
Oh, I love a Sky Club, but let me tell
Yeah.
y'all something. They have changed the rules. They've moved the goalpost. Delta Ed Bastian. Yes, I know who the president of the Delta Airlines is because that's how much I fly. Ed Bastian's president of Delta, and he's moved the goalpost a few times. And I'm like, Ed, we need to get on this. And American Express said, "Oh, if you're going to start these new rules, then we're going to put an American Express lounge now at all the air. Like we're up in the game." And honey, Atlanta Airport Terminal E by E11, Gate E11 is the new Delta American Express Lounge, the Centurion Lounge.
Uh-huh.
You better watch yourselves. You better watch yourselves, Delta, because let me tell you something. It is a dream sequence. It is magic. And I
You
was
know
like,
it is.
okay.
I haven't been there yet, but I want to go check it out at my next layover because I'm just like American Express doesn't do anything that's not first class. So
And
I
this
am,
is,
I'm sure.
and the one at JFK too, if you're ever at that one. But the one in Atlanta Airport, I shouldn't be telling any of y'all this because now you're going to clog it up and I'm going to be on a wait.
Well, Delta's on
Corey,
the
our
way.
amazing producer, Corey, edit that part out because I don't want anybody knowing this is. I should gatekeep that. No, I don't gatekeep anything. Y'all know everything. But anywho, I am obsessed with the new American Express Centurion lounges and the one in LAX. It's in the international terminal, but y'all, I feel like I won an Oscar going in there.
See, I'm so glad they're doing that too. And I had a short layover in Atlanta this past weekend and couldn't get in to the Sky Club because there was a wait. And that apparently is why they are doing
So
that.
they did. Here's the thing: they gave everybody that had an American Express card of any kind of level, a Delta American Express card of any level, to be able to get in. That's where the ugliness happened. I have all the cards all the ways because I've flown Delta since again I was knee high to a pig's eye, and so I was like, oh, I'll have these cards. But what they're doing is taking it away for the people. Like I, we won't get into the rules of it all to bore y'all, but they've made it so they've changed your level of access starting in 2025. So
Yeah.
2024, you're still allowed in, but they get overcrowded very quickly and it's a booger. And I just want to go in for my water and my coffee. I mean, I'm
And
not
my
in there getting
bathroom,
sideways.
honey.
Oh,
I
and a
want
good
the
bathroom. I
bathroom.
got to have a clean bathroom. Yes, Karen Mills. And they've got that Grown Alchemist hand wash. I'll get bougie in a ditch for y'all over that hand wash. It's so good. We buy it here at the house now, so we're highly influenced by Delta. Let me ask you this: um, travel food, because I'm allergic to dairy and I eat pretty healthy, so I have to plan. I have to plan my food when I travel. How in goodness name do you stay so little tiny Karen with all the food that we have to endure on the road? What's your schedule?
Oh, well, the way I stay tiny is that all my muscles have atrophied.
Would you
But
stop?
that's what that is.
Stop it right now. Stop it right
But
now. No, you and I have spent enough time on the road together that I see you do. You're very good. Well, ordering a meal with Karen Mills is one of my all-time favorite pastimes. No matter if we're on the road or just enjoying each other in life, because I've never seen one him and Haw more over ordering food. It is my favorite. I get tickled by it, y'all. She just really you him and Haw.
well, it's a tug of war. Every meal is a tug of war between what I should do and what I want to do. That's fine. But as far as what breaks me down on the plane is the snacks.
Yeah.
And I try to take my own snacks, but when I pack snacks, I eat them on the way to the airport. So so then when I get on the plane, and if someone offers me something free, I just cannot turn it down.
So, what are
And
your go-to snacks that you have to get when they come by and say you want chips, cookies, or peanut or nuts? Which do you do? All three?
well, again, I will take the almonds just so I feel better about it, but I'll also get the chips.
I love you. Did you know that Biscoff cookie is dairy free that they have at Delta?
Oh, I've had enough of those that I don't even want
Them
to talk about it.
we love those. And for a half a second, they did these tiny. I need Biscoff if you're listening. because I know y'all are dialed into this podcast. What I know so far is them little vanilla wafer versions. They would look like vanilla Oreos they made y'all, and they were dairy free. So for this girl, a big deal because I don't get a lot of, and I know it's probably bad for me. I mean, anything packaged ain't good for me, but who cares? They were amazing, and I would hoard them. And now they don't have them on the plane anymore. And I told Jace, my husband, I said, I should have ordered more. He's like, really, baby? That doesn't sound like you. And when I get bougie and get to sit in Delta Comfort, they have them vegan gummy bears. Have you had those, Karen?
Haven't had those. Mm-mm.
Oh, I can't
I've
believe they're
seen them
honey and
in the basket, but I can't.
get them.
I've never chosen those. I will do those on my next flight.
Choose them. Y'all, these vegan gummy bears, what a time to be alive. I don't know. They're called the Santa Monica gummy bear. I'll take a picture because I've hoarded those too. They're delicious. And they're dairy free. Obviously, it's a gummy bear, but my gosh. They hit the spot. It satisfies your sweet tooth, which I'm
Hmm.
thrilled about because that is the hardest part of eating healthy. I ate a lot of nuts, a lot of seeds. I know it doesn't sound glamorous, but I like that Blue Zone stuff, and I love Dr. Mark Harmon. If you don't listen to the Doctor's
Oh,
Pharmacy,
I love him.
love Dr. Mark Harmon, and listen to him travel. He's same. I'm happy to know. Clearly, we travel very differently. He's going to find like longevity and living forever, and I'm slinging jokes. It's fine,
Yeah,
but he travels with his own nuts and seeds, and I was like,
sure.
okay, cool. This makes me feel better. Let me to ask you what's the thing when you see someone walking on an airplane, and we're going to come at you right now. These are tips, I would say.
Oh, no.
Okay, what are the things I can go for days? What are give me your top 3 things that you just think people need to know not to do, like airplane etiquette. What is airplane etiquette for you that you're like, don't do that? Don't do that.
Don't do that. Wow. You give me one, and I'll.
Okay, I'll give you one. I
Yeah,
think that tuna should be illegal in airports. I
yeah,
don't think
that's
it
a
should
good
be
one.
sold. I don't think you should bring it in. If you're coming through security with a homemade tuna sandwich, they should be like, I'm sorry, man, we have to confiscate that. And I love tuna, but at 30,000 feet, we all now smell of tuna. I just think it should be illegal. I don't like it. That's one.
I don't like anyone having a conversation for the benefit of the plane.
Loud talkers, loud plane
Yeah.
talkers.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, you need to use your inside voice.
You're in air voice,
Yes.
just a little more petite. And I realize your ears might be plugged up. Shh. Shh. I totally agree. I don't think anyone should be allowed to wear open-toed shoes.
Why
I
is
think
that?
I don't want to see your feet. I don't need to see your feet. I don't need you to take a shoe off. If that is really where it's at, wear a sock, wear a. I don't need open-toed shoes are a privilege, not an option. Not everyone that wears an open-toed. I don't care if you're going to Hawaii. I don't care if you're going on a tropical vacation. Ain't nobody need to see your tootsies. Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. The pilot wore his shoes. He's going there too. Don't. I just don't. I can't do it, y'all. I cannot see a foot. I don't think it should be okay. I don't think you should be allowed to take your shoes off. Wear the loosest shoe you can if you have feet that swell. Mine swell. My toes look like linky sausages, but I do not fly in an open-toed shoe.
Well, I have a different reason that I don't fly in an open-toed shoe.
Tell me.
Because I'm always cold. I mean, I
Preach on that.
you talking about? I've literally asked the flight attendant before if they were doing surgery, someone doing surgery, or were they transporting raw meat? Was there a reason that that we were seeing our breath on the plane?
Is that not true? And then enough people, it's feast or famine, right? Because then somebody really does complain. And I'm with Karen. I always fly with a hoodie, a beanie, something. I have something. But now that Dolly Parton doesn't like
Socks.
hoodies, I can't fly with hoodies. Yeah, I've got to figure this out. But anywho, okay. So the point is, I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to wear all these layers, and then they turn it up like a Bikram yoga class hot, and
Yes.
and you're sweating so bad that you're like, I don't know what am I having a hot flash? Like what is occurring? And then I watch other people around me start to freak out, and that makes me feel better because I was like, we can't be having a collective hot flash.
No, and it is. It's one way or the other. There's no just having a comfortable temperature.
Yeah,
You've got to be
feast your
hot
famine on that
or
airplane.
you've got to be
Yeah,
cold.
who
I
do we
don't
talk
get
to?
it.
I don't either. Karen, it makes me feel so much better, y'all, because I sit there sometimes and think, is this me? Am I the only one that feels this way? That I always have to, and now they don't give you a blanket or anything, which who wanted it? Cooties,
Yeah,
journeys.
right. Yeah.
But I have to now come on with like, I have a big scarf. Like my in flight, I have wet ones. I wipe down my whole area. So I've got a whole, clean out. And the nastiest thing on the
Routine.
airplane. Yeah. Oh, my cleaning routine when I get on. That's another reason I'm thrilled to be Diamond is I board immediately because it takes me about 5 minutes to clean everything. The screen, the seat
Including the
belt.
passenger beside you.
I will always clean the passenger. You don't know, and especially if they have an open-toed shoe. I'm like, here's extra travel socks that I brought. You can have. Those are a lot. So to fly next to me, I do. It's a thing. My germophobia is real, but I'm getting so much better. I really am. I have extra masks when people start coughing. I'm not a mask wearer, but I feel like if you're nasty, like if it's nasty and we're all trapped in a bubble, just do a solid and cough in this thing, could you? I'm like, I got a solid immune system, but after a while, I'm like, you haven't stopped for 23 minutes, and I have
Yeah,
to get up on a
right.
show and a stage. So, there's that. I'm trying to think of what else travel wise that I do. That's I know a little loopy. I clean the seatbelt. You got to clean your seatbelt. That's huge. That thing hadn't been cleaned since Christ was a child. And your tray table, all that, but just really clean. What about hotel rooms, Karen? Talk to me about what you do when you get in a hotel room.
Well, after I blow up my suitcase and, make it
Me,
look like I've been there, I live there, and ridiculous how quickly I can destroy a room.
me
But
too.
yeah, you too. But you destroy it in a neat fashion. You just distribute your things
I do,
around the room,
I do, as if I've lived
which
there
is,
for years.
yes, which is different than blowing it up. You know,
talk me through
this
that.
is
You
me
come
looking for something to get ready for a show, and then it
flying,
stays.
throwing.
That's
Do you
right.
use packing cubes? Are you a packing cube girl when you travel?
No, but I'm going to start using. Do you use that?
I do.
Because
I love them.
yeah, I was just told that, and I thought, I'm going to give that a whirl.
I'll send you the link to my favorite one.
Okay.
They're pretty because I bought some jinky ones. I'm like, oh, I'll spend $13 on Amazon, two zips, and they tear, and I'm like, oh, cheap's expensive, Trish. So I went and got better ones, right? And so now these are my goody go to ones. But yes, it's been a game changer, Karen. I don't
Oh,
know
I need to
why I
do
put
that.
it off for so long. I don't know why, but I love them.
Oh, I definitely need to do that. But one thing I've turned into a little bit of a hotel snob.
Me too. Talk to me about this.
And I try not to be, but you know, it's so hard to get a good pillow. That's one thing
Oh,
that drives me nuts. And
that's
it
so
doesn't
true.
matter how expensive the hotel is. Sometimes, I mean, it's either jacked up or it's a maxi pad. I mean, it's
It's so true.
I
Oh
mean,
my
I'm like,
gosh.
what? And after being in a car accident, I broke my
Yeah.
neck, and so if I have a bad pillow, it's just
See,
wrecks
I was
me
gonna
for.
ask you if you traveled with a pillow. Like I know health wise that because I travel with like resistant bands and a weird mess, but and a steamer. I travel with the travel steamer, y'all, because I don't trust a hotel iron. I know I'm weirdo, but is there something that you travel with for your health that you're like, I have to have this because clearly it's not going to be on the road?
Oh, I have to have the what is it? The that you roll on?
Foam roller, foam
The
roller.
foam roller. Yes, I have to have foam roller. And sometimes they'll be in a hotel gym, but you can't always count on that. But
True.
I'm better to leave my clothes than I am to leave my foam roller because
Oh, that's
it
important. I love that.
it is because of my back and my neck. I have to have it. So, and I always look before I book a hotel. I always look to see what kind of gym they have, and then I
Same.
don't go. I don't go there, but I like to know.
I just like the option.
Yes, I like to know in case something happens out of the ordinary where I actually go to it.
If the mood strikes, you're like, this
Yes.
is darling.
Yeah.
Well, at least I can fill up my water bottle in here. I've done that
Exactly.
before, by the way. I'll be like, "Oh, this is a great looking gym. I'm gonna get water and see if I'm gonna come back."
And a really special hotel is when we get to stay at a spa and can take
Oh.
in a yeah, take in a massage or oh, that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
priceless on the road.
That's when you feel like you've won the life lottery. Because you look, Karen and I have stayed in all the places, all the ways, from La Quinta to a Hampton to a Four Seasons, honey, and everything in between. We've stayed in them,
Oh yeah,
and when
Red
you
Roof.
get
I've been there.
but yeah, Motel 6, your girl.
Yeah.
I just had to stay in one because I'm doing this new series, and I'm so grateful to do it, Find My Country House, but we're in little bitty towns. We're really finding cool country towns. And sometimes
They don't
the
have
only
anything
ho
else.
yeah, the only hotel available really is the do drop in, and I'm not being funny, and I was like, "Oh, my lord, I'm fairly sure someone was murdered here." So, your girl is not above anything. I have stayed in all the places, all the ways. I do
The
prefer a
Shining.
murder-free. Yeah, I'm telling you. We had
Hmm.
one that I for sure was haunted. I won't say anything because it was a beautiful hotel, like, redone from the 1800s, in Northern California, but when I tell y'all, for sure it was haunted, and I was there for, like, more than 2 days. I was there for, like, 5 days, I think, and I was like, "Y'all need to keep it down." I, like, literally was talking to whoever was walking the halls because there was no one walking the halls, and one night the electricity went out because of bad storms, and somebody was still walking the halls, and I was like, not creepy at all." So, I have stayed all the places, all the ways, and it was a beautiful, like, they spent so much money redoing this place. They were like, "How was your stay?" I was like, "Haunted."
I was doing a small theater in Americus, Georgia, and they put me up in a hotel that was 100 years old, and they told me at the theater, they said, we just want to warn you that the hotel you're staying is haunted. So there's been a lot of reports of a woman rocking her baby in the corner. And
Stop.
and I said, "Oh, great." And they said, "Oh no," said they won't hurt you. And I said, "Well, I'm not afraid of them, but I got an early flight. I can't be kept up all night with some crying ghost baby."
Ain't dang ghost babies, because they will just, like, they haunt and cry.
You're right. I can't take it.
Yeah, a ghost baby's too much. That was me. I'm like, I was raised in the funeral business. I'm not remotely afraid of any level of death, ghost, nothing. I was like, "Are y'all okay out there? Because I have an early call time. I
Right.
realize the power is out, but we are all in this together. Haunt appropriately, please." That is the beauty of comics. I don't really think it takes a lot to get us all rattled.
Oh,
We've seen all the things all the ways.
and of course, I mean, the audience doesn't know, but the dreaded comedy condo, I mean,
Oh,
that is
okay.
just take the worst thing you've ever stayed in and multiply it by 10, and that's a
For
comedy
y'all that
condo.
don't know, in comedy, a lot of comedy clubs in smaller towns, bigger towns too. I shouldn't just relegate it to small towns. Will have a comedy condominium that they put comedians in. Usually, the club owns it. A club owner rents it or has it as a deal, whatever it is. They are disgusting as kind. Disgusting as kind. And I'm generalizing because once in a million blue moon, it could be a good one, but it's rare. It would be a rarity more than it's a natural,
Right.
normal occurrence.
Occasionally, you'll get something nice. Yeah.
Okay, and it is a rare occasion.
Uh-huh.
But they are I for years used to travel with my own sheets so that I could put my own sheets on the bed at the comedy condo because for sure they weren't washed and someone else's DNA was all over. Like for sure 100% they weren't clean.
Mm.
Uh, and forget it, I'd travel with all travel cleaning supplies, any manner. Like most people are bringing like, extra shampoo and lotion. I had Comet and a sponge. So I could so I could scrub. So Karen and I have done all the hard time. I will say, no matter how nice the hotel is to this day, and my husband laughs at it, I always bring travel slippers that I wear if the hotel, I don't necessarily always, unless it's a hotel that's nice enough that gives you travel slippers, which is rare. I have travel slippers so that I'm not walking on the floor in the hotel barefoot. And I also ask for extra bath mats, and I make a runway of bath mats from the door to the bathroom to the bed. And my husband is like, What is this?" I was like, "It's that way we don't have to touch it, just in case we get up in the middle of the night we forget to throw shoes on." And he's like, "Oh my lord!" But Everybody's got their thing.
Yes,
I
everybody's got.
re-sanitize everything.
Now, I'm just curious, the OCD you got from your dad, is that correct?
Yes, yes, my dad, OCD, very bad. And I didn't know because y'all didn't grow up with my dad. My parents got divorced, obviously, I told you when I was 4. So I didn't really grow up with him. And I had no idea the level at which he was OCD because my mom, Judy, is not that way. She's got her own little peculiarities. Is that a word? She's got
Yeah.
her own things. But man, I was like, wow. It's like my dad was like Monk, if you remember that show, Monk.
Yes.
That's my dad. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this from him. Yay, me. I'm not proud of it, y'all. I just have to deal with it, but at least it's clean. And I'll tell you, I think we've talked about this before, but David Beckham, after watching the Beckham special on Netflix, his level of OCD, like I warmed my heart. I was like, I want to be BFF. Like most women want to, like, I want to hit it with David Beckham. I'm like, not me. I want to clean the kitchen with David Beckham. You seem fun, Victoria. You go do you, and I'm gonna come over, and David and I are gonna clean this coffee machine out. He seems like fun.
Oh. It's like Monica on Friends. I mean, that was her idea
That
of a great night. Was cleaning. I love
Yes,
it.
and I'll tell you that was my favorite character on Friends for that very reason because I was like, I identify as a Monica.
So good.
Let me ask this: what is the next like vacation? Because I am trying to plan a vacation, and because we travel so much, being home feels like a vacation sometimes.
It
So
always does to me.
doesn't it? Like when I'm home, I genuinely am so grateful to be home. I'm like, oh, I got to plan. But is there somewhere you're planning to go that you would love to like just take a trip and do?
Europe.
Europe, where in Europe specifically? Is there like one like country or just you want to hit them all?
Well, I'd like to, I definitely want to go to London and I want to go to Paris. And so yeah, I really kind of want to hit them all, but it'll be next year before I can do that. So, but I hope there's a good beach in my nearer future.
Oh,
I'd love to go
yeah.
back to Cabo.
Oh, come on. I'm going in July. That's my only trip planned. I've been 100 times and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in July. But I need to get back to, I need to go to Europe. I want to go to Italy. And so I'm trying to
I want to go to
plan that.
Italy.
So badly,
So
so
bad.
badly. So, because I know it's hard to travel when we're on the road. Let me ask you this: do you pack any travel like food for post show, or do you just rely on what's in the green room? I was always curious because I know you and I have had a hard time in Applebee's and stuff of like whatever's left open. But do you
Yeah.
pack extra travel food?
Usually in the green room, there's at least a fruit tray and a veggie tray. And so I munch on that. And then we usually try to get a healthy choice from a restaurant after show.
Because Karen hems and haws y'all. Because Karen loves you love a nacho.
Yeah,
Karen loves a
I haven't had
nacho.
nachos in a really long
So
time.
proud of her. And you love a wing.
Haven't, I mean, I've had
I'm so proud
maybe
of her.
wings twice this year.
Karen, that's huge.
Yeah.
I'm so
Mm.
proud of you.
Well, I got that dermatomyositis, something like that.
Something like that.
Autoimmune, um, which is skin inflammation. It's skin and muscle inflammation. It can be, but mine was only skin. My muscles were never involved, and so I immediately, started cleaning up my diet.
Go
And I
girl.
just went back to the rheumatologist a couple of weeks ago, and all my markers were back to normal. And I haven't. I mean, diet is, as you know, and as Dr. Mark Harmon says, if something can be turned on, it can be turned off. And
That's
I
right.
believe that.
That's
So,
right.
and
Health
I,
is everything when we're traveling, y'all. I mean, really, I'm the more I'm on the road, the more it made me feel good. I listened to a podcast the other day that Mark was a guest on called Diary of a CEO. If you guys don't listen to it, please do. It's Stephen Bartlett. He's amazing. And he always has just really interesting guests. He's asked great questions. And he had Dr. Mark Herman on. And he said, what is one of the things that you always travel with? And he said sardines. And I travel with sardines.
do
And
you really?
yes. And I thought, oh, good, because I always think TSA is going to go through my bag because I keep them in my carry-on. I've started packing them under the plane because they're in tins, wild caught sardines, because it really is the way you can get the most amount of healthy protein. It's just like a fast really solid source of protein.
I've heard him say that, but now you want to ban tuna, but you're going to take sardines.
I'm not taking them on the plane. I
Oh,
just have
okay.
the post show. No, my hotel room is what
Oh, I
smells
see.
like
Okay.
deadliest catch. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too. I'm like, oh Lord God, I'm gonna have to eat this in my hotel room because you don't want it backstage because people are like, what is that horrible smell? I'm like, sardines. You're welcome. Like it's not world's
It's
friendliest
funny.
aroma. And so I'm in my hotel room eating sardines and packages of Justin's almond butter. And I'm like, I look like I'm on Survivor. Like people think that we go back and are like, ooh, ooh. And I'm like, let me get my tin of
Yeah.
sardines. So I was wondering if there was anything like that that you just like, I have to have what I call like my survival food or because I can find something pretty much anywhere I go, and I love seeing cities and checking out towns. But
I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of fruit.
what's
Probably
your
too
go-to?
much,
Oh,
but
I
I
love
love
fruit.
a berry. I love watermelon.
Oh, I love watermelon.
Love it. Love it. With tahine.
Yes, tahine, and if you want to go real nuts, honey, and if you want to go even nuttier, grill it. Grill watermelon and put
I
tahine and
haven't
honey
done
on.
that. Mm.
It's a summertime favorite, y'all. There you go. Fast tip. It's delish.
Oh, and homegrown tomatoes and
Ah,
cucumbers and all that. I love that all those fresh foods. I love
me
them.
too. Oh,
Mm.
honey. Let me tell you something. That is the best part of being on the road is when you get to like local farmers markets or
Yeah.
somewhere that you can actually go and like get yummy, fresh produce. I love that.
And I'll try to hit a Whole Foods or something like that. Take stuff back to the room to eat on while I'm on the road. I do my best if there's something, convenient enough that I can do that.
Yes. Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of towns lately that are food deserts, as they
Yeah.
call them, where you don't really have any real options. And so I've had to plan accordingly. So
Yeah. Where you
y'all
get
have
your
to give us
produce at Dollar General.
oh my Lord. And the Dollar General, that is a whole nother racket. That's for another time. We'll have that conversation. I mean, I'm like, couldn't we do something a little bit better in the Dollar Generals, y'all? Right? I mean, it just I don't know. What's happening in Dollar General?
But there are a lot of food deserts that have Dollar Generals that are almost like,
Grocery.
yeah, that have grocery for at least those people can get a piece of produce at it.
Well, that's why I wish they had a better option. Like
Yeah, sure.
give them more options because that's what I'm from rural Appalachia. Everybody knows that we don't have the same. Our Whole Foods is in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is like an hour and 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's is same thing. You have to drive. They do have grocery stores, but it's slim pickings. It's slim
Mhm.
pickings. So just healthy options everywhere would be awesome since
Yeah,
I'm
it
out
would.
running this country and I
Yes.
get to see all these places. I'd love to find an avocado or a thing of raspberries, or as Karen says, you got to eat them at the checkout because they're
That's
going bad.
right. Those raspberries are going bad in a hurry.
I think of you every time I get them because as soon as they scan them, I'm in the car
I
eating
know.
them.
I'm like, eat them before you get home, or they'll have fuzz on them.
It's so true. Let me think. Is there anything else we forgot, Kay, on our travel extravaganza?
Well, I had a very sad day yesterday because I had to say goodbye to the suitcase
The
that
white
has
one?
no, not the white one. It was black one. It was Bricks was the brand,
Oh, rest in peace. I
and
love a bricks.
she's been with me for 2 years on the road. I've not treated her very well. I've overstuffed her with shoes. She's been slung all over the planes and cars and dropped, and she was a good one.
Did she just quit you? How did she go?
Well, she busted out of the seams. Her zipper ripped. I mean, I kept going. I knew this last weekend was her final voyage. And her wheels would barely roll.
Oh,
And
bless it.
yeah, I had a little ceremony for her, and
I
I
was about to
thanked her.
say, was there a eulogy
You know,
spoke?
I thanked her for her service.
It's all you can do. It's all you
That's all
can do.
you can do.
Can I ask, is she getting replaced by another Bricks? Does
Yeah.
Bricks send you a new one?
No, Brick says now I wish they would because they're not cheap, but
Yeah.
I love Bricks because the suitcase itself is lightweight.
Yes.
And when you have a heavy suitcase and
Oh,
then you
Lord.
add 40 pairs of shoes, you've got something that is too much for my little atrophied muscles to pick
Girl,
up.
it's too much for any of us. And I always say, if I pack it, I carry it. And I literally pack to the gills. So I'm with you on that. Are you an overpacker, Karen?
I am.
I am
I
too.
am. As I say in my show, I blame Gilligan's Island
I
because they
I
were going to
just
going on a 3-hour tour, and look what happened. You
and look what
just don't
happened.
know.
You don't know. You're going to need a beaded ball gown. You are going to need it. You don't know how many outfits. Look at Thurston and Lovey. They have matching outfits for 5 seasons. How long was that show on?
And
I don't.
obviously, she packed for him. I mean,
Clearly, I mean they
because all
were
the other guys on the island were the same thing the whole time. I mean,
for the
it's
next
always
3
open.
years.
Yeah. If a man
And
has something to wear, he's married. That's obvious.
that is so true. That is so true. Oh my lord! I've never no truer statement has ever been said. Because if not, they're showing up with like a backpack. You're like,
True
what's going
story.
on there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Walmart bag
Oh, Walmart tied up
with a
plastic
pair of
bag.
underwear.
Girl, there was somebody the other day got on the plane. Now, normally these people aren't flying Delta, but this sweet person got on the plane with a trash bag, like a trash bag was a carry on, and the Delta Delta agent was like, did you need me to? I mean, she just didn't know what to do, and the guy was because they were coming through the aisle, I was already seated, and he's like, no, I've got it. She's like, okay, well that probably try to make sure that doesn't take up too much space because it was like almost a full trash bag. I was like,
Mm,
how'd that make it all this way? I was like, I wish I could give this man a bag, but okay, let him
probably
ride.
not traveled much and just,
Bless it, I know. I
yeah,
thought the same thing. I was like,
yeah.
buddy, I'll go get you. Had I
Well,
seen
I
you in
can
the
tell
airport,
you, okay, so my brother and sister in law took, this is 20 years ago, at least, if not longer, my mom and dad to Vegas, never flown before. And my mom had an old Samsonite, that old blue
oh, I
Samsonite
know the one.
luggage.
Yes, ma'am.
And so before they went, like I can't remember what month, but they were going not long after Christmas. So for Christmas, they gave her a black roller bag. And this was before there was a lot of options on roller bags. Now they're all colors and all shapes, but everyone was black in the beginning.
Sure, sure.
And there had been reports on the news of people picking up the wrong roller bags because they all looked alike and to check your tag and blah
Oh,
blah blah. So he gave them he gave him a black roller bag. Well, he went to pick them up to go to the airport, and mom came out with that blue Samsonite. And one of the latches was broken, and she had duct taped it
Karen. Oh my
around.
lord.
Yeah, duct taped it closed because she was afraid it would fly open when they were handling it. And and then she put a yellow belt around it. And we said, Mom, what is the yellow belt for? And she said, Well, I just want to be able to easily identify it. I said, I think the duct tape would have done it. I think you had that covered. So then she refused to do the black roller bag because said that everybody's looked alike. She'd seen it on the news and she's going to make sure she could find her stuff.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, she mission accomplished. So they get there. My brother's just like, oh, whatever. So they get to the airport. Here out comes the luggage. Everybody else is looking at all the tags, trying to find something. She's standing over there with her blue piece of Samsonite duct taped with a yellow belt and goes,
See,
point made.
nobody stole it, and I knew which one was mine.
Y'all still looking. I got my bag.
Oh, y'all keep it up. Y'all keep it up. You remember my favorite Brenda Ferrari, amazing comedian, uh, when her my bag, when she spray painted my bag in yellow spray paint on her bag.
Yes.
God Lord, nothing made me happier than seeing this big old. Everything was black. It was a black bag and yellow spray paint. She spray painted my bag in big old letters like it was graffiti, and I was like, crazy or brilliant? Either way, love
Either
it,
way, she's got
love
her
it.
stuff.
Every time it'd come down the belt, I would die
Yeah.
laughing, die
Yeah.
laughing.
That's funny.
They actually, I'm surprised like Louis Vuitton hasn't done some like, you know, graffitied version of their own luggage with like orange writing that says LV my bag. I feel like that's $1 million idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is $1 million idea.
I love you. I miss you so much. Y'all, this was a quickie. This was a quick little episode. So, and I want to make sure that Karen, where can people find you? I know it's all in the show notes below, but where are you on social media so everybody can find you and come and see your shows?
I am Karen Mills Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Karen Mills Comedian on Facebook. And my website is karenmills.com.
See? And we are What I Know So Far podcast. I'm Trish. They're on all platforms, all everything at TRISHSUHR. So whatever way, just go find me that way. And we love being able to do this with y'all. And we are going to do some of the episodes we've been threatening to do and haven't done next. And our guests are coming. So thank y'all for listening. Thank you for being patient with us and letting us learn with you because we have fun.
Yes, and we do have some great guests lined up. We've just both had crazy travel schedules and hadn't been able to coordinate everything, but they are coming soon.
Yes, and once the guests start flying, be ready, y'all. It's going to be a time. What a time to be alive. We love y'all. I love you, Karen. What I know so far is you're one of my favorite people on earth.
Right back at you, Trish, sir. I love you too.
Have
Be
a very
careful on
best
the
day.
road
You too, Angel.
and in the
Woo!
air.
And in the air. And in the air. Y'all don't wear an open toed shoe. Public service.